Hey guys, welcome to Pages with Sidra. Today we are going to start chapter 633 of I Have 90 Billion Licking Gold Coins. If you haven't watched the previous chapters, make sure to check them out on my channel. Now, without any delay, let's dive into the chapter. Chapter 1090. Why did you trick me? As soon as Edward finished speaking, he suddenly lunged again, slashing his blade at Qian Yuan. Qian Yuan thought he was about to unleash some powerful move, but nothing changed. His strength and speed were even weaker than before. Just as confusion filled Qian Yuan's mind, a crushing pressure suddenly surged in his chest. A wave of dread fell over him, as if death itself had locked onto him. The atmosphere turned suffocating. Qian Yuan finally realized something was very wrong. At that moment, even viewers watching the satellite feed noticed something unusual approaching from the farthest horizon. It had reached above the Taklamakan Desert. One viewer's eyes widened in shock. What is that thing? It looks like an intercontinental missile? No way. Keen-eyed viewers saw the missile on screen for only a split second. But in that exact moment, Edward gave up all defense. He tanked 100 full-strength punches from Qian Yuan and forcefully locked him in place. He wouldn't let Qian Yuan escape. Just 1 minute. If he could hold him for just 60 seconds, it would be enough. Qian Yuan's custom Bluetooth earpiece had already been shattered in battle. He had no warning about the incoming missile. Qian Yuan, Edward growled coldly, prepare to die. Just to be sure, I prepared the largest nuclear bomb in the world. There's no escape. So this is your trump card? You're going to die with me? Qian Yuan asked. Their bodies were locked tightly. If Qian Yuan couldn't escape, neither could Edward. My nano battle armor blocks 90% of energy damage. Even a nuclear explosion can't kill me. But you, even if you're immortal, the nuke will vaporize you before you get a chance to regenerate. Edward sneered. You're still too young to challenge me. He sounded a little mad, but also full of confidence. If it's a battle of endurance, let's see who survives the blast. A nuclear bomb could even threaten star-level powerhouses. Since both were defense specialists, it would come down to who could take more damage. System, Qian Yuan called. Increase my physique by 100 points. Ding. Physique enhancing. System, unlock the Qian Yuan sword. Ding. Temporary unlock of Qian Yuan's sword will cost 500 points. You'll have 10 minutes of use. Confirm unlock. Unlock it. Ding. Unlocking Qian Yuan's sword. Remaining system points, 1320. The moment he finished speaking, the intercontinental missile in the sky exploded with a deafening roar. In the next second, a blinding light lit up the sky, so intense it could blind anyone. The world became nothing but pure white. Then came the blast. An enormous mushroom cloud burst from the explosion, right at the center of Qian Yuan and Edward's battlefield. The ground trembled with a roar. Flames and heat surged from the blast cloud, incinerating everything in its path. The cloud expanded violently, rising over 10,000 meters into the sky. Even people hundreds of kilometers away could see it clearly. The entire region, for thousands of miles, shook like an earthquake. The shockwave reached over 300 kilometers, leaving not even a blade of grass behind. Even the air pressure alone could kill people 100 kilometers away. Dust stormed across the land, blotting out the sun. The world was stunned. Billions of viewers watching live were frozen in place. Breathless, stone-faced, completely paralyzed. All of them stared blankly at their screens. If not for thousands of satellites broadcasting it live, they never could have believed such a scene could exist. It was terrifying. Unreal. Could anyone survive an explosion like that? Unthinkable. The destructive power was so vast that even people 100 kilometers away might die instantly. The two people caught at ground zero. Surely not even ashes remained? No. Brother Qian Yuan won't die. He can't die. Qian Yuan duo cried as hot tears streamed down her face. Please, heaven. Please protect Brother Qian Yuan. Lin Zhilu sobbed uncontrollably. If Qian Yuan dies, then I don't want to live either. Qin Wushuang's face went pale, drained of all color. No, I don't believe it, said Yihan, her eyes misting over. Knowing Qian Yuan, he always has a backup plan. Every time he surprised us. I believe he'll pull through again. Everyone fell silent. 5 minutes passed. Only then did the monstrous mushroom cloud begin to fade. And then, a figure in a scorched black battlesuit shot out from the center of the blast. It was Edward, floating in midair. He burst into maniacal laughter. Ha ha ha. Chen Yuan, in the end, you still couldn't beat me. This feeling, to kill a once-in-a-century genius, is pure bliss. Who can stop me now? The world will bow before me. Obey me and thrive. Defy me and die. Who's next? Edward's nano-battle armor was torn and barely intact. His metal mask had been blown away. On his face, a strange glowing mark had been burned into his skin. In universal script, it meant slave. A lowly slave, claiming to be emperor? Insanity. But in the very next second, his wild expression froze. From below, a golden sword light shot straight into the sky, piercing the atmosphere and stretching over 300,000 kilometers. Even outer space could feel the presence of that terrifying sword intent. Boom. The sky trembled. Even space itself seemed like it would split apart. Edward stood frozen, shocked beyond words. Commissioner, help me. He cried desperately toward the eastern sky. From a white cloud, a beautiful goddess with pure white wings slowly emerged. Turns out, someone had been watching the fight this entire time, and no one had noticed her. But it was too late. Swoosh. A golden divine sword pierced through Edward's heart before he could even react. His so-called nano-armor was like paper, offering zero protection. That divine sword carried an immense power and instantly destroyed his life force. No, I refuse. I don't want to die. Why did you trick me? If it weren't for the live stream, I could have killed you with a single blow. Chen Yuan suddenly appeared in front of Edward. So you risked your life? Just for views? Edward asked with disbelief. There was never any danger. Chen Yuan replied calmly. That nuke? It was just what I needed to unlock my intermediate fire control ability. With a casual snap of his fingers. Snap. Chapter 1091, Edward's Defeat. Chen Yuan casually flicked his finger. A violet fireball instantly reduced Edward's lifeless body to ashes. All that remained was a small metallic orb and a ring. Without hesitation, Chen Yuan put both away. Throughout the battle, Bai 11 hadn't moved a muscle. She simply watched everything unfold with calm, steady eyes. A divine radiance surrounded her, like an angel descending from the heavens. Of course, that was only on the surface. Deep down, she was completely shaken. It wasn't that she didn't want to step in, it was that she didn't dare. Can you imagine? A 20th tier cosmic powerhouse, scared stiff by a local native only at the 11th tier? That's absolutely insane. A full 9 levels apart. But the terrifying sword intent radiating from Chen Yuan made it painfully clear. If she dared to act, she too would be cut down. That sword, what level of civilization does it belong to? If it were only from a 3rd tier civilization, it couldn't possibly give me this sense of danger. It has to be at least 4th tier, maybe even 5th. But then, how is a newly awakened star rank native even able to wield it? Unless he's a direct descendant of a cosmic powerhouse. His ancestors must have been truly legendary. The more she thought about it, the more her gaze changed. For the first time, Bai 11 truly took Chen Yuan seriously. She finally saw him as an equal. His life aura is so young. Just in his early 20s, yet already star rank? He must have awakened his ancestral bloodline and inherited a high-tier civilization weapon. A real genius. No wonder I sensed something extraordinary about him the first time we met. If I can help him trace his powerful ancestry and return to his original family, I might even secure a connection to a supreme faction in the universe. You see, alien girls aren't without desires. Their goals are just on a much higher level. What you value, they don't even look at. What they want is far beyond your reach. That's what makes them seem otherworldly, like they're above everything. But in truth, no matter the level of existence, when it comes to something they truly care about, they're no different from a dog guarding its food. Miss Bai Yu, Chen Yuan said calmly, we meet again. You've done well, she replied. I didn't expect Edward to lose. But honestly, it doesn't matter to me who becomes Earth's planetary lord. Either way, it's part of my job. According to the Interstellar Civilization Treaty, if you gain the support of more than half of Earth's intelligent life forms, you can be officially registered with the advanced civilizations. You'll be protected by universal law. At that point, you can choose to govern Earth or sell the entire planet if you wish. You're native to Earth, and after this battle, your reputation is at its peak. You fully qualify to become Earth's planetary lord. Now, do you wish to enter the universe? I can take you to the embassy of a supreme civilization to begin legal registration. By U11. Favorability +5. By U11. Favorability +5. Current favorability, 11 points. The alien girl had just shown goodwill toward Qian Yuan, and even smiled slightly. That faint smile was enough to make over 1 billion men on Earth fall head over heels in an instant. Breathtaking beauty, divine aura, she was the real deal. A true goddess. So Edward was defeated just like that? And who is this winged goddess? Is she an actual angel? Could gods really exist? This live stream from Smoke Boss revealed what might be the higher worlds of legend. Maybe those ancient stories weren't just myths after all. This battle was unforgettable. I'll remember this moment for the rest of my life. Even a nuclear explosion couldn't kill them? I'm speechless. Are they basically immortals now? I'm completely mind-blown. Strongly support Smoke Boss becoming the leader of the Earth Alliance. The livestream chat exploded with comments. At this moment, over 3.9 billion people were watching worldwide. Considering how many areas still lack phones, internet, or even electricity, this was already an astronomical number. Out of the planet's 7.5 billion population, getting more than half to tune into one stream? That's the absolute limit. Enter the universe now. Qian Yuan asked calmly. Can you give me some time? He had many things left unfinished. Leaving without tying up loose ends? That would be far too irresponsible. How much time do you need? Baiyu asked. 3 years. After thinking for a moment, Qian Yuan gave his answer. 3 years seemed like the safest choice. He still had too much to do. Plus, his current strength was far too low. Venturing out into the universe now would be far too risky. Better to play it safe for now. Baiyu 11 was clearly surprised. 3 years wasn't much. For a star-rank powerhouse, it was just a short vacation. But Qian Yuan had just defeated Edward and earned massive public support. Wouldn't this be the perfect time to register and lock down his authority? That would be the most secure move. If it had been Edward, he would have rushed to register immediately. After all, a life-bearing planet is unimaginably valuable. You could trade it for endless wealth. Did Qian Yuan seriously feel no urgency? 3 years isn't too long, but not short either. Who knows what could happen? All right, I'll wait for you. 3 years from now, I'll come find you. With those words, Baiyu 11 took a single step forward. Before her, the air shimmered like water, rippling gently. Then, she stepped into the ripple and vanished. Spatial teleportation? Damn, that move was clean. You really nailed the cool factor with that one. The moment the alien girl vanished, the chat erupted again. Was that teleportation? Even Smoke Boss can't do that yet. Wait, maybe she's actually the strongest one here. Is she from Earth? Or a legendary angel from the divine realm? Or is she just an alien? This is way too crazy. What even is this world anymore? My scientific beliefs are falling apart. As everyone was still freaking out, Qian Yuan opened his system panel. Name, Qian Yuan. Age, 23. Height, 186 centimeters. Weight, 82 kilograms. Strength, 58,120. Constitution, 65,520. Spirit, 57,590. Agility, 56,250. Note, average human stat equals 10. Status, capable of surviving in the vacuum of space. Level, 11th tier. Permanently controls 57 kilometers of surrounding elemental energy. Remaining lifespan, 10 years. That's it for today's chapter recap. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest manga, manhwa, and manhwa recaps. Got thoughts on today's chapter? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on the story. See you in the next one. Until then, keep turning the pages.